It's election night in the United States. What will Americans decide about the political direction of their country? Hello, I'm Anand Naidu in Washington, D.C., and this is The Heat. Millions of voters across the United States are going to the polls in midterm elections. Some are calling the most important in decades. With the country deeply divided, there is much to decide. Will voters make this a referendum on Donald Trump's performance as U.S. president over the last 2 years? Will Democrats win back control of either house of Congress? And what will the outcome mean for major U.S. policy on issues like trade and immigration? Joining us now from Iowa is CGTN correspondent Dan Williams. Dan, what does it look like out there in Iowa for both the Republicans and Democrats? And is this big agriculture state, is President Trump's trade policies having an impact on the vote there?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just to put some background to this, of course, this over the last few years has become a very Republican-strong state. The Republicans have both of the Senate seats. They control 3 out of 4 of the House seats, as well as the governorship as well. I'm here at the Hubbell Hart, the Democrat governorship election party. They're hopeful here of taking back the governorship, and there's also going to be some very interesting battles as well in terms of the House too. That 3-4 ratio could be flipped according to the polls, and Democrats very much hopeful of that. They're hopeful of an election rebound here. Over the years, what we've seen across the Midwest is that the states the party that controls the White House often loses power in the state, and the Democrats very hopeful that that will happen. And of course, key issues such as healthcare, that very much at the forefront during this campaign trail, but also trade as well. Remember, as you were saying, that this is a key agricultural state, as are many of the other Midwest states here as well. That, of course, the China-US trade dispute very much at the forefront of farmers' minds as they go to harvest, and that knowing, of course, that the soybean price is now below the cost of production. So, of course, that will play heavily. Whether that will be a factor, whether that will translate to farmers and others that depend on that agriculture income, whether that will play out in the polls, well, that remains to be seen. A few hours or so still left of voting time, and then shortly after that, we should then have a much clearer idea.
All right, thanks, Dan. That's CGTN's Dan Williams reporting there from Iowa.